Hey free to play gang, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to take a look at Crisis Training, and this is actually one of the, I would say it's a Yuuhime's trial, so to speak. So this is also the Holystone event. I'm not sure that is this exactly the Holystone event, like the server-wide boss or something like that. I don't know if this is it, but let's take a look, right? So we're up against the Holystone Tyrant here, and we can use the trial as per Yuuhime here for free. So this is probably what they meant in the first video, that I assumed she was probably going to be free, but yeah, she's not going to be free. She's definitely going to come straight from the Echo. You can use her for free only in this current event, which is the Yuuhime trial. I'm not sure why this is the opposite, but yeah, some bug reports for me to do. Okay, so let's check out this run and like how tough is this supposed to be. So there are 5 enemies here. It is just one single boss run. There isn't like multiple waves or anything like that. So it's just a straight up boss fight with 4 followers. So let's take a look at what the boss does. This is his first skill, Elemental Force. Attacks all enemies. This is an AoE attack. Damage is 80% of attack, with an 80% chance of inflicting attack down for 2 turns. Now applies additional effects based on the Elemental Force it has. Elemental Forces is Ripping Force, Frozen Force, and Sanction Force. So according to the different forces that it has, which is something that the previous Holystone event also had. So Ripping Force, when casting an Elemental Force, Holystone Tyrant inflicts bleed on its targets for 2 turns. And of course the Elemental Force is just his first skill here, right? Now Sanction Force, when casting an Elemental Force, Holystone Tyrant inflicts disease on its target for 2 turns. And finally, Frozen Force, when casting an Elemental Force, Holystone Tyrant inflicts freeze on its targets for 1 turn. So there is freeze, there is disease, and there is bleed as well. So all these debuffs, you want to try to prevent it as much as possible. So immunity is probably going to be super important here, I think. Anyway, so there is the Seal of Elements. All allies AP plus 30%, including the followers as well. And grants attack up to them for 2 turns. And now the third skill, Elemental Blade, attacks all enemies, damage is 120% of attack, and inflicts defense down for 2 turns. So another AoE attack here. Deals extra damage to enemies who are not buffed. So it's very important that you are constantly buffed. So espers like Abigail, espers like Clara, they're all going to be really good. And of course Unas as well. Constant immunity every single turn. That is very good. Now finally, Triple Shatter. At the end of Holystone Tyrant's turn, if it has 3 Elemental Forces, dispels all of its debuffs, consumes all Elemental Forces, all 3 of it, to attack all enemies 3 times. Now the damage per hit is 80% of attack and dispels all buffs from enemies as well, and inflicts stun for 1 turn. Now Elemental Forces blah 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 blah, gains control, immune, and damage mitigation. The more debuffs Holystone Tyrant has, the weaker the mitigation effect. So essentially what this means is you can AP control the Holystone Tyrant as well. So having Sander here is probably going to be very effective, and he also has damage mitigation. But the thing is, the objective here is to land a lot of debuffs on the boss so that you weaken his damage mitigation. So the more debuffs that the boss has, the weaker the damage mitigation effect will be. Now as for the followers, these are all of their effects, right? So the first follower over here, he has Holystone Moth, gains control, immune. At the start of Shackled Holystone's turns, dispels 1 debuff from each ally. And if Holystone Tyrant is not debuffed, grants Ripping Force. So this actually buffs Holystone Tyrant. Now his active skill is attacks all enemies and inflicts bleed. Okay. This is the second follower here, Shackled Holystone. The passive effect is at the start of Shackled Holystone's turn, grants all allies speed up for 2 turns. And if Holystone is not debuffed, grants Frozen Force. So it's very important that you basically just debuff the boss all the time. And his normal attack, Taunt Light, attacks all enemies, damages 80% attack with a 60% chance of reducing AP by 20%. On to the third follower here. At the start of Shackled Holystone's turns, grants all allies created up for 2 turns. And if the Holystone Tyrant is not debuffed, you grant Sanction Force. And the normal attack has a 60% chance of inflicting disease for 2 turns. So there's a lot of all these debuffs, right? It's like the same few debuffs all over again. There is also Ripping Force here again. So yeah, there is... It's very complicated, but the thing is, you probably need a lot of AP reductions everywhere. Because these guys, they cannot be controlled. They cannot be stunned, but they can still be AP controlled. So it's possibly quite important to have many AP controllers, like maybe Sienna for example, or something like that, right? So let's take a look at how this plays out a little bit. So we're actually going to spam. Oh nice, we have the Astralis set on this. Very nice. Okay, so we have the debuffs here, but some of these followers can of course get rid of the debuffs from the boss himself. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit more challenging for us to control them. But what you understand is that when we attack these guys, they actually revive in the same way that the Dark Starlord's followers will revive. So you cannot actually kill them. So the best way to control them, I feel, is to just slow them with, like speed down basically, or to control their AP by reducing their AP using espers like TF for example, using the Phantom Sisters, or maybe even Palmy as well. But the thing is, you cannot hard stun them, so that's going to be a problem, right? So let's just see how this plays out. We have our second skill again, and we are going to spam it just because of our AI. And I guess we can run this on auto, but let's see. Yeah, AP down. So we can I can confirm that we can AP down these enemies, which is, yeah, good enough. So the objective is clearly, oh my goodness, look at all the buffs, right? And now the boss is just going crazy with all the stacks that he has. It's very important that it's very important that he constantly has debuffs, essentially. If not, oh my god, that damage is going up like crazy. But yeah, so the main DPS here is definitely going to be maybe the Trial Yuhime. I think she's probably going to be like the main DPS. I'm still not super sure about the best way to handle this particular boss. I'm still not sure what is the right approach. So I'm just guessing it's going to be a lot of AP control and maybe not buff strip, although you can actually buff strip this because it's just Silver Rim, right? So that's possibly another strategy. It's not a Gold Rim buff, so we can strip this. So if you have Espers like Nusi, she's going to be perfect here. If you have Espers like Tricky is okay, Tricky is decent, but just like Espers with a lot of buff strips, that would be ideal. But we're actually doing pretty well, like for this run. We're doing a lot better than our previous run. Oh my goodness. Alright, so that's it. We got a double S, not bad. So from my understanding, this boss only gets all these buffs because of the followers. He doesn't inherently give it to himself. Like Ripping Force, Sanction Force, Frozen Force, he gets it directly from the followers, not himself. I'm repeating myself, I'm not sure why. So it's only when he has these effects that using Elemental Force would apply these extra effects, right? So it's very important, okay, that you strip his buffs as much as possible, like I said, because as long as he gets 3 of these together, he's actually going to instantly consume all of it and attack, and that's basically it. Like, it's probably going to like wipe you very quickly. So it's super important, and we're going to test out how buff strippers work over here. So let's see if this is a viable strategy, right? We have Nusi in the house. Yes, I know everyone has a Nusi, I understand. It's just for the showcase, okay? It's just for the showcase to ensure that we can actually strip away those buffs that the boss has. Essentially just the Silver Rim buffs. Because, can I just pause this real quick? Because what we need to understand again, just to reiterate, right? So if Holystone Tyrant is not debuffed, you then grant Sanction Force. And it's these two followers on the left side and the right side of him that cleanses the boss, right? Dispels 1 debuff from each ally. So those two are the issue over here, which is allowing the boss to have those 3 extra buffs or whatever. So let's see whether we can strip away those buffs. Okay, we have the effect over here. We have one of the whatever this force is, right? So we're just waiting for Nusi to take a turn. Strip everything. There you go. That's it. So Nusi is going to be like the broken strat over here. I mean, yeah, like I said, you can use Tricky as well. You can use other buff strips. Maybe even Arcana. Lamau. But yeah, so as long as you have a way to consistently control the kind of buffs that they have, that's it. That's basically it. And of course, slows as well. So using Falcon is not bad because Falcon has the attack down and the speed down as well. Quite essential, I think. But yeah, using Yuhime here is actually pretty good because she does reduce the HP cap of these Espers here, right? So when they die, it's easier for them to die again, right? Because their HP cap is already reduced. Whoa, nice. Yes, buff stripping is definitely the way to go. Buff stripping, 100%, dude. Look at that. Our score is pretty high right now, EX. Yep, okay, so I can guarantee that Nusi is obviously going to be the best choice over here in terms of buff stripping because she can cooldown reset, she can speed up, AP reduce, everything. Very nice, AP push as well. Perfect kit. Gabrielle is also going to be pretty decent because she has a lot of immunity. Abigail is also going to be really good because she has a lot of buffs, because you need to have a lot of buffs in this fight as well. Unas is of course really good. Clara is not bad unless you have the disease, which means you kind of need to pair up with someone that provides a lot of immunity, like Gabrielle for example. So I think that's about it. That's it for Crisis Training at least, and yes, I got myself the name card. Very nice, very nice. Okay, oh, and I forgot to talk about the event shop. We have an R6 Ta. Okay, I get it. Her name is Ta, not Pta. You can get 7 copies of her, so definitely go ahead and get 7 copies of her. You can get all of these currencies by doing the event itself. I'm not particularly sure where that comes from just yet. And there is of course the gear center as well, where you can buy the standard usual stuff, right? So we have 1 legendary Abilimon, we have like a lot of Experiment, we have summons. some good amount of summons as well, right? We have 10 Infernal records, 4 Gold records, 1 Shimmer record, very nice, and of course Reset Stone, blah blah blah, a lot of good stuff. So that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let me know if you have any other strategies pertaining to this training event itself. And of course, I hope you guys enjoyed today's content. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, it really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now with that said, this has been Very Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video.